It's Stephen, and it's Friday. It's 4 p.m. in the UK, 6 p.m. in Cape Town, and well, midday where you are in the States. Welcome to the show, and hopefully, I know that Tish has joined us, so say hello to Tish. And Tish is saying hello to myself and Bridgetti. I chatted with Bridgetti a moment ago, and she said she would be along shortly, so all's good. And I'm just waiting for her to arrive. So, welcome to the show. And if you're watching the replay, I have no idea what's going to happen in this show, but you're more than welcome to stay and watch. If you are watching, please say hello. If you're watching on the live video hub, please say hello, because you'll get redirected to where we're actually broadcasting from. Eventually, what I hope is that wherever you are, as soon as you type a comment, you'll get a welcome and a thank you for watching and a link back to where the original broadcast is. Now, I've been working on it all week on the live video hub, and I've been looking at every show that's broadcast this week, and I've created a bot for every show that's broadcast this week, and they're working away in the background, and they are replying to everybody who joins the shows with a message, and also a link to be a guest on the show today, if you so wish. And we've got 2 free seats. This is the Friday show. We're quite chilled. You can come along and join us just for a chat as we look forward to the weekend, really. We'll be looking forward to the weekend. 2 things, though. One, it is snowing. And if you caught the picture on my timeline earlier, we've had at least 5 inches of snow, and it's not stopped. It's continuing, and it's forecast to continue. I did go out with my Wellington boots on, with my wellies on, and I went to the local shops and got some victuals, some food for just for today. So hopefully tomorrow the paths will be clearer and the road will be clearer, and I can go and walk out to the local store and get some food. I'm on my own this weekend. Angelica and her son and daughter are heading off to Bulgaria for the weekend, so it's all mine. I've got to look after everything, so I'm going to do my best with regards to that. If you've got any questions about live video, about Be Live in 5, about the live video hub, in fact, if you've got any questions, then please ask them. Your first comment will be responded to by the AutoResponder Bot, and I'm just checking whether I actually gave Bridgetti the link to get on here. Yes, I did. Yes, so there you are. I did give the link out, and we are live, so I can close that tab. So that's good. And I now have more resources. I can change, because I'm using Logi from Logitech. I can change the color of my frame. And there you have it. I know, in light blue. So it's all very simple and straightforward to do. Logi is the latest version of the software for Logitech 920, 922, Brio, 930 cameras, and it does give you more functionality than the standard software that I've been using for the last couple of years. So you can change your border, you can change your screen whilst you're actually live, you can do, well, a whole range of things. With the camera, you can actually autofocus, which I would have switched off. I can mirror the source, so that's how it looks to me when I turn around and switch it back again. I can put anti-flicker on, and I can change the auto white balance, which is quite interesting. That's how it looks without the camera doing its stuff, and that's me naturally. I prefer that look to the other look. So I've no idea where Bridgetti is. So what should we do? Bridgetti said, I asked her earlier today for an agenda, any thoughts on what we could actually put on the agenda, and she said nothing. And then about 20 minutes ago, she said, well, let's just wing it. And it's fine winging it when there are 2 of you, because you can play off each other. When you've no agenda and there's only 1 of you, it's more interesting. So let's see if I can find an old agenda, and we can go through that. Okay. Right, we've got 4 messenger bots running today. and 2 are from ManyChat and 2 are from AutoResponder. The ManyChat will cost you $10 a month for each page you run it for. The AutoResponder will cost you $79 end of. There is no charge after that. There's no monthly fee if you stay within the limits. And by combining AutoResponder Bot with the ManyChat bot, 4 things are taking place today. First of those is the redirect bot, which I designed last week. And basically, if you are on one of the pages that I admin and not on the Be Live in 5 page, if you make a comment now, then you'll get redirected to where we are live, and you can make a comment and I can see your comment on screen. Now, this is a major benefit, and it's in operation for everybody who uses a live video hub. If you watch a video on the live video hub now and you type a single comment, you will get a reply which will tell you exactly where the show is live. In addition to that, in Messenger, you'll also get an overview of each of the shows that are actually covered by the live video hub. And that's building up. Started off with 1, and it's going up and up and up, and tested it with Corinda last night, and it's working. So we've got information on the shows that are broadcast on the live video this week. And to get to that, all you need to do is to type hello on the live video hub, or eventually any other page that this is being broadcast out to, because at the moment we're actually broadcasting to TVSN, we're broadcasting to Steven Live, and all these things are equal. And we say hello to Chuck. Chuck, if you want to come on, you've just been given the link in a message, and that worked well. I thought that's spooky. That's quick. Chuck's reactions were very quick then, and it's not Chuck arriving in the lobby. It's Bridgetti. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just going through the fact that today we've got 4 messenger bots running on the show.
Oh,
instead
yay.
of 2.
Steven, what can I say? You're becoming a pro. You're becoming a pro at these bots.
Well, I want to make life easy, and one of the problems with the live video hub is you put the show on the hub, unless you include the comment "we are live here," nobody knows where you're actually live, and you can't make a live comment. So fortunately, I discovered AutoResponder Bot about 2-3 weeks ago, and I spoke to Facebook about them, and Facebook are happy with them, and I've now put it on every show that broadcasts on the live video hub, and there is on there now a redirect bot, and basically that's got 2 functions. One, it says hello, thank you for watching the show that happens to be attached to, and then it gives a link to the live show. Now, when you post on the live video hub now, I look at your post, I find the original, I take the URL of the original and put it in the message that goes out. So it's cut and paste. It takes about 60 seconds to set up for each new show that goes live on the hub once it's set up. And basically, if you're watching the show on the live video hub, then you just say hello. Doesn't matter what comment you make, hello is just an example. And that will bring you the link to go direct to, in this case, Be Live in 5, or whatever page it happens to be. And also, in addition to that, you'll get a message in Messenger saying, hello, thank you for watching the live video hub. Would you like to know more about the hosts of our shows? And you've seen part of that, Bridgetti, because I sent you a copy yesterday. And basically, every single show that's on the hub, I've documented it. I've given links to the Facebook page. I've given links to the Messenger. So when you say hello to the redirect bot, it will send you a message saying this is a comment reply saying this is where the show is, and also send you a message in Messenger saying, would you like to know more about the show host? So
that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
Well, it saves a lot of hassle, because we know from experience that when you put a show on the live video hub, you either put a long explanation and the link is at the bottom, or you put a link at the top and people just don't see it. So in this way,
that happens.
It does. So this way, you just got to say to people, when you go live, wherever you are, just say hello. And that one sentence then means that they can type in a comment wherever they are, and they will get the redirect bot in place. Second one is the welcome bot, and that's running on here. And when Chuck said hello, he got a reply. Apologies, Bridgetti, I've covered both of us up. Thank you for watching Bridgetti and Steven in discussion. And then underneath that, he got the link to join, which is an alternative way of the guest link, but it's more personal. So we do appreciate people watching, and the guest bot, the welcome bot rather, will give you the information you need to actually join us on camera. And then the third bot is the guest bot, and the guest bot is the old guest bot. It's not changed. It's a ManyChat feature. It's documented. Have I disappeared? Oh.
I don't know. I'm not looking at our Facebook page.
I don't know. I appear to have gone from the broadcast. Just a second.
Oh my goodness, I can still hear you. I'm also going to have a look at our Facebook page very quickly to make sure that you've not disappeared on us entirely, Stephen. So I'm going to say welcome in the meantime to Chuck and also to Tish. So Tish, are you saying that you can see Stephen, or you can see me, or you can see both of us? Can you let me know?
Can you see both of us?
I'm still trying to just quickly log into Facebook to have a look here to see what's happened.
Thank you, Tish. Tish is saying I'm back now.
Ah, okay. Okay, fantastic.
But
great.
I did disappear for a moment.
A quick disappearing act and you're back.
There's been some little niggles this week on broadcasts. I know that Lottie had to restart her broadcast today, and 3 bods.
But she had that happening the other day as well.
Yeah, very strange. And somebody else had to restart their show as well. Let's just continue. And the final bot, as we run out of bots, is the broadcast from ManyChat, which for some reason didn't fire today. So we'll come back to that at another point. Chuck can see and hear us both, which is good.
Thank you.
Thank you for confirming. Right, so that's a quick tour of the bot. I don't plan on any more. I think 4's enough because you've got to set them up. You mean you create the show, then you set the bots.
I'd say 4 is enough.
Right, now something bot-wise, something is happening next Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern.
And unless we're running a competition to say, like, how many bots can you use in your show?
Well, the thing is that with the ManyChat bots, you can only run one bot. If you ask people to type guess, then you can't ask them to type something else. And this AutoResponder bot allows you to type several different commands. And same person can type several different commands and get several different replies. So it's always expanding. But the point about this is that you're actually joining us next Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, on Bots for Broadcasters.
I'm looking forward to that because it's something I haven't taken a dive into yet. Last year was a bit of a hectic year for me with my dad being so ill and then passing away eventually. So I couldn't really focus or dive deep into anything. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to doing a little bit more with the live streaming this year because I've got more capacity to dive into stuff. But I want to tell you something. I think the longer we live stream, the more we take the ability that we have possibly for granted. And I want to tell you a little story that happened, something that happened to me this week. And I thought, wow. So one of my passions was to be able to use live streaming to amplify opportunities for people who don't have that opportunity. And so one of the initiatives that I discovered is one called Learn with Grandma. And this is an initiative started by a lady that's in her 80s, closer to 90, who lives in the UK. And she started this initiative called Learn with Grandma. And there's a chapter in many countries all over the world. And her name's Valerie Woodgager. And I've been trying to get an interview with her, but her internet access hasn't always been great. But we're working on doing something, and I'm going to interview her. But her initiative is to close the digital divide between the generations. So the idea is that the younger generation should teach the older generation their digital skills, and the older generation would then be able to pass on their stories to the younger generation and capture these digitally. So it's to encourage digital storytelling, essentially. And in this process, she's linked up with so many people from all over the world. And in particular, there are many countries in Africa, as many of you know, where people have a lack of opportunities, huge lack of opportunities. And often part of the problem is that internet connectivity isn't always easy for them, or it may be costly for them. So they don't have opportunities to get their messages out. And so I've met a couple of these people via Learn with Grandma with Valerie Woodgager. And so I met a gentleman the other day. Now, the one thing I've learned in trying to live stream with some of these folk that live in parts of Africa that may not, that's not metropolitan areas. These are, a lot of it is rural areas. So it's people really at grassroots level who don't have access to things we take for granted. And so the other day I met a gentleman through Learn with Grandma, and his name's Ivan Rukundu. And he came up with something quite novel. He's a school teacher, and he'd moved to another rural area and was wanting to help the local people there, or looking for a job. And in the process, he discovered there was a lot of local people there, young people, who were resorting to things like crime and drugs. And it's not that these people, crime, drugs, and stealing, stealing, crime, same thing. And it was not that these young people were bad per se, but it's because the lack of opportunities for these young people are so slim that they lose hope. And looking at the situation, he thought, what could he do about this? How could he help? How could he give these young people some hope? And so he's working at starting a non-government organization, and he's calling it Wheels of Hope. So the name in itself, Wheels of Hope, has something behind it as well. And why he's called it Wheels of Hope is he has designed a wheelbarrow that's made out of wood. It's made entirely out of wood. It's not like your traditional wheelbarrow that we know of that's made out of metal, and it's a long, narrow wheelbarrow. This is a much, much wider wheelbarrow, also made out of wood. Now, we take things for granted. We'll hop on a cab, on an Uber or Lyft or whatever. We'll hop on a bus, or we'll jump in a car, and we'll get from point A to point B. Now, remember, these are rural African countries where people don't have these opportunities. They have lack of opportunities, lack of funding. But fundamentally, they have the same needs as us. They also need to get food. They also need to get from point A to point B. But there's no buses, there's no cars. But they need to move things from one point to another. So he's made these wheelbarrows, and they cost, for him to produce a wheelbarrow made from wood, they're roughly square wheelbarrows that he builds. So including the wheelbarrow and the wheels, no paint, costs him $38 to make this wheelbarrow. And what people can do with the wheelbarrow is they can either transport water with it, but it's mainly used as a method of selling fruit and vegetables. It also helps them when they're harvesting to be able to put the fruit in and vegetables into this wheelbarrow and then move it from point A to point B. But a lot of these enterprising, so far he's built 20 of these wheelbarrows. If they are painted, they cost $45 US to make per wheelbarrow. Now, Ivan has not had any funding yet or anything, so he's literally used that money out of his pocket. But he wants to be able to register Wheels of Hope as a registered NPO, and he doesn't have the money for that yet. He needs, I think he needs $1,500 US to register the nonprofit. That's what he needs to register his nonprofit. So even though the wheelbarrows cost $38 for one that's not painted and $45 for the one that is painted, the people there can't afford to buy these wheelbarrows from him. So instead, he rents these wheelbarrows to people, and I think they rent it for I think it's less than $1 a day, because that's all people can afford. They can't afford anything more than that. So he's quite enterprising. So he's already produced 20 of these wheelbarrows, and they're all over the place, and he's marking them with his name. He's branding them with Wheels of Hope. So he's basically allowing young people to become entrepreneurial by being able to take the crop and go and sell it using these carts. So it's basically shops on wheels for these people. And it may sound like a little thing to us, but it's huge for people in those communities. And I really would like to help Ivan with raising funds to be able to register his nonprofit for one, and also to be able to buy more materials to make more of these wheelbarrows so that he can help more people. His dream, his goal for now, is to be able to have 100 wheelbarrows and be able to rent these out to people, because it's creating jobs for people in these rural areas and literally giving them hope, as it were. And so I was wanting to start. So here's the thing. I was wanting to interview him. Now, I find that very often their internet access isn't always great, or they don't have the money to pay for the data to cover the cost of the interview. And so I had a pre-interview with him, not on video, just voice, just to establish what his story was, and also to establish what his needs were. So this wasn't an interview, it was literally a pre-interview. And then I was trying to explain to him how he should lay out the details for me, tell me exactly how much money he needs, tell me a bit about the project, tell me what his goals are with the project, etc. And I was just trying to get him to put it out into some sort of format that I could use to tell his story. Anyway, Ivan was so super enthusiastic about this that he put all this in writing. And the next moment, I saw on the Learn with Grandma page, there was this post about his interview with me, and he'd copied all the text of our conversation, telling people very excitedly that this was his interview with me. And of course, at first glance, I looked at this, but wait a minute, we haven't had the interview yet. This was just the pre-interview gathering information. But what struck me was how this man saw this opportunity in me live streaming, giving him hope to get his message out there to the rest of the world. And isn't that amazing? I mean, we live stream every single day, and we don't realize how an opportunity like this means so much to someone else who doesn't have regular access to the internet the way we do. So, It's amazing, just simply amazing. And I really, really would like to help this teacher, because I think he's got 2 children himself. But, you know, apart from that, he's taking the time to help other young people and want to develop their skills as well with no funding.
Right.
So,
yeah. So what next?
well, what's next is I'm trying to figure out, you know, how to help him, whether I should try and start a GoFundMe page to try and get him some assistance. You know, it's not, I mean, all he needs is either $38 for an unpainted card, but ideally a painted card, and he wants to paint them in bright colors with his with a little signboard on it saying, you know, Wheels of Hope. And his dream, because it's something that will work not only in his rural town, but if it works in his rural town, it can work in many other rural towns across Africa. So I'd love to see his project being scaled across Africa.
Well, 2 thoughts occur to me, because I always like it when we actually dream something up and you bring a great idea to the table which you want to support. And if you want to support it, then I'm willing to help as well. First one is Kiva. And what Kiva does, I've been a member for the last 6 years. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
All right. Kiva.com is basically to allow people who are starting businesses in 3rd world countries to borrow money at a very reasonable rate of interest. Okay, because it is set in the country in which the loan is made. And people, rather than donating to charity and the money disappearing, will donate, say, $25 to the cause. And that $25 is repaid over a period. Could be 6 months, could be 12 months. So if you loan the $25, you are going to get your $25 back. The only thing you're not going to get is the interest. Yep. So you're giving the interest on the dollars, and the person taking out the loan is paying interest to Kiva, but is getting benefit of loans. Now, I introduced Paul and James to this as well, and they make loans on a regular basis. I make loans. The thing is, once you've got your $25 back, you can loan to somebody else. Yeah. Okay.
I got it.
Now,
yeah.
The Kiva organization is set up in many countries around the world.
How is that spelled?
Kiva.
Kiva. So it's called Kiva.
Yep.
Kiva.org?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I see that.
So I'm on there with my $25, which I lend to people and what have you. And I'm not alone. There are tens of thousands of people in the UK and more in America, all doing exactly the same, putting their $25. And as a person who's actually donating, what you actually do is say, you give them a list of all the projects, and you can select the country,
which project to support.
Correct. And you give them full information. Each country has effectively a governing body who administer the loans. And in fact, truth is that the loans are pre-made. Okay, so if somebody says, right, I need $300 or $1,000, then they put their case and they then get granted the $1,000, which they repay over a period which they agree. And then it's all funded by private individuals. And it's a system which is international. It's been going for, well, as I say, I've been a member for 5 or 6 years. And it is.
So it's almost like it's a system that circumvents the formal banking system, basically.
It's micro loans, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so it's to me it's kind of like by the people for the people.
Correct. That's it in a nutshell. Basically, it works very well. As an investor, you know you're going to get your money back. You know exactly where it's gone. You know who you're helping. You can get messages from the person you've loaned it to. You get updates on a regular basis on the page itself, and it's just so simple, and it works. That's all I can say. Now, I know about the private donor side of it. I don't know anything about actually getting a loan or applying for it, but that is actually on the kiva.org page. And
I've just actually Googled it as you said it now, so that I've got it myself.
Right. So that's a straightforward loan, commercial, well, a micro loan. And Kiva is one of the bigger players. There are several other players as well, but Kiva is the one that I can recommend. So I know that they're straight, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously great to be able to, I mean, you can recommend an organization if you've dealt with them yourself, which is fantastic.
Right. Now, the other idea I had, which has been sort of, because we've got 5 days live, which we're doing in January, and we're doing 5 days live again in March. What if we did a 5 hours live in February? And we actually, if you do get into create a Just Giving page, then we actually promote that Just Giving page throughout the 5-hour broadcast. And the 5-hour broadcast is hosted in turn by everybody who does the 5 days live, and we can invite guests in as well. So we just run a 5-hour broadcast for charity.
I like that idea. I like that idea very much. I really do. And I think, you know, I mean, we know enough people throughout our networks, because I mean, basically we're based all over the world.
That's
between
right.
us.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've done 5 days. 5 hours is nothing in comparison. And as you say, you've got the contacts to actually bring people together. I'll volunteer to produce the show. No problem on that score if you'll have me. And basically, we just take it from there. Just need to set a date. Not the 22nd, please, because that's my birthday. But any day in February will be good. So there you are. 2 ideas. Kiva, to actually get a loan, because you can do that in addition to anything else that he does. And then 5 hours live for charity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic.
Wheels of Hope.
I think it's brilliant.
I think it's a brilliant idea because it helps so many people. And the renting of $1 per day to actually rent is a brilliant idea too. So yeah, thank you for introducing that. And as I say, I'm in. I'll do whatever you need to get this off the ground. And if you want to set up a page, I don't know how you handle it how you want. But if you need any help, then just say.
I think you know, a way to start is to set up a GoFundMe page for him, because if people would like to contribute, there needs to be a place that they can funnel the funds to. So I think that probably is a great place to start.
That's right. I'm just typing to explain to everybody who just joined us what we was talking about. When you said we're just going to wing it today, we're doing quite well.
Absolutely. So today, just for everyone out there watching us, thank you to anyone watching us live and anyone watching the show on the replay. Most of the time, Steve and I for this particular show. So for those of you who don't know us, who is watching the show for the first time, when we first started this show, we started it with the intention of helping people how to live stream, and in particular helping people how to use the BeLive software, because right in the beginning, BeLive was new and we were learning ourselves, and we wanted to help other newcomers because we know what it's like when you first get into live streaming. But the show has, you know, developed some over the almost 2 years that we've been live streaming, and more and more people are using the platform, and the Be Lives group has grown to such a large extent that there's so many people now who are able to give advice. And so Stephen and I decided we'll just carry on with the show, and we'll find a topic every week, and we'll just cover whatever. And if people want to join us on the show, you're welcome to join us on the show, because we'll just carry on. Every week we'll find something to talk about. And I think we seldom get stuck with things to chat about.
That's true. That's true.
Which,
we don't.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. Chuck was saying, great idea, renting money, common all over the world. I've actually, in South Africa, we've got something called, and this was started by the Black community. They call it, and I guess it works slightly differently. It's called a stokvel. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever heard of the term stokvel or know what it is.
Nope.
But what it basically is that a community comes together, either a small group of people or a larger group of people. And what you do is you commit to giving a certain amount of money every month. Mm-hmm. And it's usually a fixed amount, and it's not a large amount. It's a fixed amount. And then what happens is that once a year, everybody that's in the stokvel will get the total sum contributed, gifted to them. So you put in your money, but then once a year, you'll get the contribution of everybody else that's chipping in. So everybody will get a turn in that group to get a chunk of money. And that's basically how people are helping one another without needing to go, because these are basically people often who don't have access to the formal banking sector.
Indeed.
But this is how they can help one another. So they know that 1 month in the year, they're going to be getting this lump sum. And it just keeps going for years and years and years. And I think it's a great community way of helping one another. You know, so your savings basically comes back to you with interest.
And Chuck is saying neat. We have a similar scheme in the UK based around in the towns and the housing estates, where there is people can't borrow from the banks. People don't want to go to money lenders and pay extortionate interest rates. So community groups actually say, right, okay, we'll become a community bank. And the basic principle is the same, that everybody pays in a regular amount each month. And if you want, slightly different though, is if you want a loan, then you apply for it and you can take a loan from the community fund and pay it back. And because you're known by the community, and it's done by housing estate by housing estate, so everybody knows everybody else. If you take out a loan, the peer pressure to actually pay it back, whilst friendly because they know you, it acts as though, you know, the groups are able to help many people who normally wouldn't be able to fund a big purchase. So if, for example, because nothing's built to last these days, we know
that's true.
We've got to keep replacing it. I mean, we just replaced a dishwasher, and for us that wasn't a problem. But if you've got a regular income and it won't allow you to replace the dishwasher, then what you want to do is borrow the money. Now you can go to a high street shop and you'll pay high purchase, we call it. You pay more than the actual value of the goods, and you can go to other shops.
Much more usually.
Oh yeah, totally. So this community funding, Stockfelt, is a great way of actually giving funds to people who actually need them. And Chuck is saying, I think of a fund to pay the rent of a needy family for a year. A lot of great ideas. That's an excellent idea too, in that you can actually help people.
It is. Because, you know, I mean, even here in South Africa, and, you know, I mean, I think that's a worldwide phenomenon where people who own a home even sometimes get themselves into a financial situation, and then they end up losing a home because they can't make 1 month's payment. And it's heartbreaking when you hear stories like that, and because you think this family's been contributing towards their bond for so many years, and then they run into a rough cycle of something, and then they lose their home. I those stories always break my heart. So yeah, it's a tough one, and if one could help people avoid doing that, obviously I'm not talking about people who do silly things and people who've got access to other means. I'm talking about people who are scraping the barrel, who have no other way of helping themselves.
Totally, and it is a good way of actually helping people who have nowhere to turn. I mean, in the UK, you can turn to the Citizens Advice Bureau and you can get advice, but there is no money. So to be able to go to a community bank or a Stockwell makes it a possibility. So, you're not despairing of ever being able to do what you want. So, coming back to where we started, which was Wheels of Hope, and you said that what's the gentleman's name again?
Ivan Rukundo.
Ivan makes wheelbarrows, and they cost $38 to make, or $45 if they're painted, and you can rent them for $1 a day. Now, it's very enterprising, and we mentioned GoFundMe and Kiva and doing a 5 hours live broadcast. Wow, that's not bad for our little show, is it? To actually go through all that. We actually made mention of messenger bots too. So
we did. We spoke about the messenger bots too. And I'm going to join you on the show next week, or this coming week. Yes, indeed. It is next week.
It is next Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Bots for Broadcasters with myself and RJ Redden, who returned from a Mexican cruise, and we'll hopefully have stories of that as well. But what we're actually going to do is that Bridgetti is going to actually, during the course of the shows, is going to actually put a messenger bots attached to her page. So we'll be able to follow the progress of that and take it from basic principles to actually building the bots. And what we'll do is, if you're happy with this, Bridgetti, is we'll set your homework each week and then come back the following week and tell us the results. Because
check on my progress.
Well, we want to prove that bots actually work. And the thing is that it's like doing a show, like we're doing the show now. If you do your first show and you enjoy it, then you'll go on and do more shows. If your first is successful, you do more and you do a lot more. If the first messenger bot you actually deploy is done without any problems and it works, then you go on to do a second messenger bot and a third. So basically, the beauty of this is that you can design one messenger bot and then you can attach it to all the different pages that you have. Yeah. So you design it once and you keep reusing it.
Chuck's got a question there. Chuck says, can you change cameras with Logi? What is Logi? Is he talking about Logitech, or I'm not quite sure. Do you know?
Okay. Yeah, I do. I can change. This is Logi, and it's the software provided by Logitech, and I can change the color of my frame. Can you see the color of my frame changing? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I can zoom in. Okay. And I can zoom out whilst we're live. I can mirror myself.
So how do you change the colors?
The border.
Steven? Yeah.
Yeah. Right. First thing I do is switch the border on, and then I just pick a color, and there's the color purple.
Okay,
And
so tell me, I've not used the software yet. What is it? Which software is this?
It's on the Logitech page. If you search, it's free. If you search for Logitech LOGI, then you just download the software. You just download the software, install it. It removes your existing software, but it is far more powerful because it only came out this year.
So what's it called? Logitech.
LOGI.
What is the software actually called? Oh, it's called Logi. It's called Logi. Yeah.
Yeah. I've put it up on the screen.
Ah.
Okay, that's the title. That's the name of it. Okay. It does allow you to do, and just forgive me a moment because this is going to be horrendous, but I'm going to do it anyway. Is I can actually share. I can actually share my screen. Yeah. I can do. I put me full screen, and then you see the full effect. Okay, so I can share screen. So that's what I'm looking at the moment. So I could explain whatever I was looking at. I can go picture in picture, just me, and just to prove that's picture in picture, just me, I'll go back to there. So I'm picture in picture and you're not. Yeah. And the other thing I can do is I'll switch back to me because that's confusing me. I can move about the screen. I can change, I can mirror. So that's how I actually look. Okay, well, that's how it looks to me. And I can change back again. I can switch the auto white balance off. You ready for this? Okay. That's how I actually. That's how I actually look. But I prefer this one. But I could go back to the other one, and I can actually just adjust it so that it comes somewhere close to what I'm actually happy with. Okay. And the other thing, which I said hello to Corinda, which Chuck averred to, was you can actually select your source, and I think you may be able to add a second camera if it's attached to the PC or to the Mac. So I'll have a look at that, Chuck, and see what we can actually do. But it is the new software from Logitech. It replaces the software that you have at the moment that came with the camera, and it allows you to do a lot more. And I'm still playing with it. It's got its own version of chroma key, which I haven't got to grips with yet. I haven't got to grips with chroma key anywhere. Yeah, I'm just not happy with it. Right, okay, let's go back to normal, back to me. So the software is Logi. Just download it. It replaces your existing software.
So Stephen, I'm on the Logitech page right now, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking under downloads, and I searched for Logi.
But
it's not bringing in any. It's not bringing up anything for me.
Okay, just a minute. It's not. It's hidden. I've got to say that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking. I'm looking under downloads.
Right. Okay.
And I looked under Logi downloads.
I'm looking on C920 page. Just bear with us a moment. I'll share my screen. I go to accept the cookies, and
because this sounds quite exciting.
Good. Right. I'm off to the support page. I'm just trying to track it down. And my computer is running decidedly slow at the moment.
Doesn't that always happen when you're trying to find something?
It does. Okay, just give me a second.
Okay, we're doing something here, everyone, that we don't normally do. We've never really on a show gone, while we're live trying to find something.
Right. Okay, I've got the link.
But I guess there's always a first time, right?
Okay. Sorry about this. Right. Okay. This is Logi. I'm going to type it in.
Did you find it?
I did. I got it. So apologies for that. So basically, on that link, and I'll post the link here as well, Bridgetti.
So, so this is how you get your look. I wasn't aware of that because I thought it was just purely your lighting that has changed, but you've also used the Logi software to get the look that you've got.
Well, that's basically, it gives a wider angle as well. I didn't mention that. So rather than being like that, I'm now like that.
Yeah.
Which is why you can see a corner of the chest table. Basically, if you go to the page and you scroll down and you're looking for, on the page, it's a bit disconcerting because on the page, it is actually called, I'll put it up on screen. So go back up again. Hopefully this will come through in a second. On the page, disconcertingly, it's called Logitech Capture. But because Logitech Capture is the name of the program.
Okay, got it.
You got it? Brilliant.
Got it.
I can speed my computer up, but it is good fun. It is. I can say that when it's installing, it will say, "Do you mind if I remove the old software?" It's safe to do that.
Oh,
the
wow!
Two can't work.
Very intuitive.
The two can't work together. So it does say, "I'm going to remove the software," and you've got to say yes, because if you don't, it won't install. But it is quite safe, and just experiment with it. And you can. From in the Logitech software, you can take screenshots, you can record. So if you want to do a quick video and you didn't want any other software, you can actually record directly from there. You can adjust your microphone volume. Okay, so I'm going to take mine down a bit, so I'll be quieter, then up a bit. You can do a whole range of things. So there you are, Logitech Capture.
Fantastic.
Okay,
so I found it. On the page, Logitech Capture.
And Corinda's saying, is that new thing to be live? No, it's new to, if you've got a Logitech C920, 922, 930, or one like Bridgetti's got, which is the Brio, then you can download the software free of charge from the Logitech site on the link I just posted, and then the world is your oyster. You can do all sorts of things with your camera you couldn't do before. Because I sometimes find it's a pain to actually, I mean, I use Screencast-O-Matic to record videos, but you've got to load it up and everything, whereas if you just load up Logi, you just press record and that's it, a lot easier. So it is a way of actually recording too.
Wonderful.
There you are. So even more, we've covered a heck of a lot today.
And I'm just looking at it now. You can even install it on Windows 7.
Yep. So it could go on your PC too.
Wow.
And Chuck is confirming that he is using it with the Brio. So it will work with the Brio. So it's nice to have confirmation of that. I'm using it with the C920. So Corinda, you should be able to use it with your camera too. Right, okay. Corinda, you never heard of the Brio. Neither had I until Bridgetti mentioned it. Would you like to tell us about the Brio, Bridgetti?
Yes, the Brio is a 4K camera. It's got a very wide angle. And before the Brio, I was using the C922. Now, for me, the C922 was a huge upgrade because my camera before that was the C620, which is like, eons behind the C920 series. So for me to have gone from the C620 to the 922 was already a huge leap. And I must be honest, when I made the leap to the Brio, it was also, like a giant leap forward. And I still have my C922. I won't get rid of it because, I sometimes also do outside broadcasts. And I like to have the option of using both cameras. So I'm not going to get rid of my C922. all the Logitech cameras, I've heard from so many live streamers, almost everyone has great results with it. I think the C920 is probably the most popular amongst most people. But I've also noticed that the Brio is catching up very, very quickly. Everyone who's tried the Brio the first time will never go back. It's kind of once you've gotten to the Brio, once you've been brioed, you don't want to go back anyway. It's, you know, the difference is just that huge. So for me, it was a similar leap going from the C620 to the 922. It was that kind of huge leap, you know, in the difference. So it really is a great camera, and I can recommend it. So if anybody asks me, what do you recommend? I will say the Logitech C920, that's what you can start out with. Great. But anything from the C920 upwards, and if you can afford the Brio, then go straight for the Brio.
Brilliant.
So okay, that's my take saying, on...
okay, the perpetual question, because let's put you full screen for a moment. You have a green screen. Could you explain how you do it, please?
Yes, I am using a green screen right now, and I'm using green screens almost consistently now. I mean, once you're hooked on a green screen, you're hooked. And
okay.
And all you need to do is find the software that works for you. Okay, so I'm on the Mac. There's various softwares that were available on Windows first. So the Windows guys have had a head start. I am currently using Ecamm, which is a broadcasting software available only on the Mac, but I can now use Ecamm as a virtual camera. So I'm using Ecamm as a virtual camera. And so for anybody else watching there, the process is generally that you can use any camera that if Chrome can see your camera, then you can use it. So if you've set up a virtual camera, the first place you go and check before you even log into BeLive is go into Chrome, check your Chrome settings, and see whether Chrome can see your virtual camera. If Chrome can see your virtual camera, it will work with BeLive. There's nothing complicated about it all. So that's the only caveat. Make sure it works with Chrome. And because BeLive works with the Chrome browser, by default, it will work with BeLive.
Okay, brilliant. So the actually turning the background on, is you actually doing that via Ecamm?
I'm doing that via Ecamm, yes.
Right. Okay, got
and
it.
Then Chrome sees Chrome is seeing my Ecamm virtual camera as my default camera. I've now set it to my default camera. Chuck says he uses Sparko Cam. So what I'm saying is you can use any one you like. It's any virtual camera of your choice you can use. So as long as Chrome can see it, you can use it to stream and BeLive.
I shall take a look at Sparko Cam this weekend, Chuck. Thank you. It gives me something to do whilst I'm on my own, as I am this weekend.
Oh, so Chuck, is Sparko Cam freeware? Just so that everyone else knows that's watching this as well. Is it freeware or is it paid? Did you pay for it?
Okay.
I think apart from Sparko Cam, there may be. I think Minicam also. You can use the virtual camera, isn't it? I'm almost sure.
I'll check that out again. I'll check that out again. I've got. I joked with Fons about this earlier in the week. Because Angelica is away this weekend, the gimbal, which is a Zion gimbal, I've been given custody of it. So I can look at,
nice. You've got a toy this weekend.
I've got a toy this weekend, so I can go out and about with the gimbal and in the snow and use my Android phone and take steady shots, because there's also a microphone to go with it as well. So I'm going to try that out this weekend. That's what I'm up to. Exploring.
Okay, so Chuck's saying the software costs $75. Is that dollars? I would assume. Yep. $75. Yeah, and then and offers free updates after that. So there's a once-off, and Chuck says you can use Minicam, and I think Minicam is free.
Okay, brilliant. I love when we all get together and actually help each other. Absolutely brilliant. Bridgetti, and
Absolutely. I can't
saying,
believe we're at the end of the show. Where's the hour gone? This is crazy. Oh my goodness. And I want to mention very, very quickly, we're running out of time here. I saw today there's a little gizmo that you can hang around your neck. And I thought about your show, We Live Here, because I thought this is excellent for We Live Here. It's a little plastic thing that hangs around your neck, and it's got the attachment that you have on the gimbal, you know, that just hooks in your phone. Okay. So it literally hangs around your neck. It doesn't weigh very much. So your phone would be attached here to, you know, it'll hang sort of like a little neck, like my pearls are hanging now. And it'll have, obviously it's not pearls, it's a little plastic hook, like something to that. And then attached to that is your attachment to hold your phone. So your phone will just literally hang, the phone will be there. So as you're walking about, people will see what you are seeing at your height. And I love that. Yeah. That's a great thing for people who want, also if you're demonstrating stuff, people will be able to see what you see with your hands. So I think it's a great little invention. Chuck, don't worry. This show is all about veering off to everywhere. So
we just wing it, Chuck.
We go where the conversation goes. So all good. So thank you everyone for watching us today. We can't believe we're at the top of the hour. Thank you so much for watching us live. And we appreciate that you always spend the time with us every week. Thank you to everyone watching the show on the replay. We value that as well. Please go out and share the show. We're asking you to please share this content, especially because we shared the story of Wheels of Hope. I'd really, really like to help Ivan get his idea, his non-profit off the ground. That'll be absolutely fantastic. So thanks for the conversation. Chuck, thanks for joining in on the conversation. Corinda, thanks for joining us today. Really love that you guys got involved in the conversation today. Thanks, everyone. Have a super, super weekend. And I shall see you with Steven again on Wednesday on the show about the bots. That was the other thing we spoke about today. So from me, Bridgetti Lambanda in Cape Town, have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you right back here again next week. So from Cape Town, bye for now.
And from Wiltshire, England, where it's still snowing, bye for now. We'll see you next week. And